If you're watching this right now, there's a good chance you've been told the same thing over and over again. Just walk more. Walk for your heart. Walk for your blood sugar. Walk for your joints. Walk for your weight. And on paper, that sounds simple. But here's the quiet truth many people over 60 don't say out loud. Walking isn't always easy anymore. The knees ache. The hips feel stiff. Balance feels uncertain. Some days, even putting on your shoes feels like work. And that can leave you feeling frustrated, maybe even a little defeated, wondering if your best health years are already behind you. Let me tell you something important, and I want you to really hear this. Your body did not suddenly become incapable of improving just because you crossed a birthday. It became different. And different bodies need different strategies. I've spent decades as a surgeon watching what actually helps people stay mobile, independent, and alive in their bodies as they age. Not what sounds good on a fitness poster. Not what works for a 30-year-old personal trainer. What truly works for real people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. And today, I want to share something that surprises almost everyone the first time they hear it. There is a simple, safe chair-based exercise that takes about 5 minutes, can be done at home, and when done correctly, can deliver benefits similar to nearly an hour of walking. Not in hype, not in theory. In real, measurable ways inside the body. Now, before you dismiss that as impossible, I want you to stay with me. Because this isn't about burning calories or chasing sweat. This is about circulation, muscle activation, joint nourishment, and sending the right signals to your brain and nervous system. These are the things that actually decline with age and quietly steal energy, strength, and confidence. I've seen patients who believed walking was their only option slowly give up on movement altogether because it hurt too much. And I've seen those same people light up again when they realized they could sit down, feel safe, and still wake their body back up. In this video, I'm going to explain why traditional walking often stops giving results after 60, even when you're doing your best. I'll show you what changes inside your muscles and blood vessels as you age, and why a short, focused movement can sometimes outperform longer, repetitive ones. And most importantly, I'll guide you through the logic behind this 5-minute chair exercise so you understand exactly why it works, not just how to do it. If you stay with me until the end, you'll know how to use this exercise to support your legs, your heart, your balance, and your independence, even on days when walking feels like too much. You'll also learn how to avoid common mistakes that make well-meaning exercise less effective, and how to listen to your body without fear. Let me ask you something gently. When was the last time you felt truly confident in your movement? Not rushed, not worried about falling. Just steady and capable. That feeling is not gone. It's dormant. And waking it up doesn't require pushing through pain or forcing yourself outside when your body is asking for care. As a surgeon, I was trained to fix problems once they became severe. But over the years, I learned the most powerful medicine often happens long before an operating room is ever needed. It happens in small, consistent actions that respect the body instead of fighting it. This is one of those actions. In a moment, I'll start breaking down why 5 intentional minutes can sometimes do more than 55 unfocused ones. I'll explain what is really happening in your legs when you sit versus when you walk, and why that difference matters more after 60 than it ever did before. So take a breath. Set aside whatever skepticism you're holding for just a few minutes. You don't have to believe anything yet, just listen. Because what you're about to learn may completely change how you think about exercise for the rest of your life. When we talk about walking, we often imagine it as the gold standard of movement. And to be clear, walking is not bad. It's natural, it's familiar, and for many people, it's still helpful. But here's what most people are never told. As we move past 60, the body changes how it responds to repetitive, low-intensity motion. Muscles don't activate as fully. Blood vessels don't expand as easily. Nerve signals slow down. And joints become less tolerant of impact and imbalance. So what happens? You can walk longer and longer, yet feel like you're getting less and less out of it. I've seen this countless times in my patients. They'll say, "Doctor, I walk every day, but my legs still feel weak." Or, "I walk, but my feet are always cold." Or, "I walk, but I'm exhausted afterward instead of energized." This isn't laziness, it's physiology. Here's the simple science, and I'll keep it human. When you walk at a comfortable pace, especially if you've been doing it for years, your body becomes efficient. Efficiency sounds good, but in this case, it means fewer muscle fibers are being recruited. Your body says, "I know this. I can do this on autopilot, and autopilot doesn't stimulate change. Now let's talk about sitting, because this is where things get interesting. When you're seated, your body feels safe. Balance demands drop. Fear of falling disappears, and that safety allows your nervous system to fully engage specific muscles without holding back. This is crucial after 60 because fear, even subtle fear, shuts muscles down. There's another key factor most people miss: blood flow. Strong circulation isn't just about movement, it's about muscle contraction and release. That pumping action is what pushes blood back toward the heart, especially from the legs. When muscles are weak or underactivated, blood pools. That's when you see swelling, heaviness, numbness, or that tired, dragging leg feeling. A well-designed chair exercise uses slow, deliberate contractions that squeeze the muscles more completely than casual walking does. Think of it like wringing out a sponge. A gentle shake won't do much, but a focused squeeze moves water fast. In the body, that water is blood and lymphatic fluid. Now here's the part that surprises many people. Research in rehabilitation medicine has shown that short bouts of targeted muscle activation can create a metabolic response similar to much longer periods of steady movement. Not because time is equal, but because intensity of activation is. 5 minutes of fully engaged muscles can outperform 50 minutes of half-awake ones. Let me give you a real-life example. I once worked with a woman in her early 70s who loved walking but had stopped because her knees couldn't tolerate it anymore. She was terrified that sitting exercises wouldn't count. Within weeks of doing short chair-based movements focused on her thighs, calves, and ankles, her leg strength improved, her circulation markers improved, and most importantly, her confidence returned. She eventually went back to walking, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. We also need to bust a common myth. Many people believe that if an exercise doesn't leave you breathless or sweaty, it isn't working. That idea comes from younger bodies and athletic goals. After 60, the goal shifts. It becomes about signaling, not suffering, about consistency, not punishment. Another myth is that sitting is inherently bad. Prolonged passive sitting is the issue. Intentional active sitting is a tool. Surgeons use it, physical therapists use it, cardiac rehab programs use it. Yet for some reason, people at home feel guilty using a chair. There is nothing weak about choosing a safer, smarter position to move your body, and here's a subtle but important point. Chair exercises allow you to slow down. When movement is slow, the brain stays engaged. That improves coordination and nerve health. Fast, mindless walking often doesn't do that anymore. Your feet move, but your brain checks out. As we move forward, I want you to keep this idea in mind. Exercise after 60 is not about doing more. It's about doing what your body can actually respond to. In the next part, I am going to walk you through how to use this 5-minute chair exercise in your daily life. What to pair it with, what to avoid, and how to make it feel good instead of like another chore. We'll talk about timing, breathing, simple nutrition support, and the small mistakes that quietly cancel results. And I'll explain how this can fit into your day even if you're tired, busy, or dealing with pain. Now let's bring this down to real life, because understanding is helpful, but application is where change happens. I want you to imagine this not as an exercise routine, but as a daily check-in with your body. 5 minutes where you're not rushing, not judging, and not trying to prove anything. The chair you use matters less than how you use your body in it. Sit tall, with your feet flat on the floor, and take a slow breath in through your nose. That breath alone already begins to wake up circulation. Most people breathe shallowly without realizing it, especially when they're tense or in pain. Deep breathing gently expands blood vessels and tells your nervous system that it's safe to engage. The core of this 5-minute movement is slow leg activation. You're lifting, pressing, and extending with intention, not speed. When you slowly straighten a leg and hold it for a moment, the thigh muscle fully contracts. When you lower it with control, blood rushes back in. That in and out flow is what mimics long periods of walking without the joint stress. Then there are the ankles and feet, which are often forgotten but incredibly important. Gentle ankle circles and toe lifts act like pumps at the farthest ends of your circulation system. If you've ever dealt with cold feet, swelling, or tingling, this is where relief often begins. Walking can help, yes, but only if your feet are strong enough to participate. Chair work rebuilds that strength. Now here's something many people get wrong. They rush. They treat this like a task to check off, but slower is better. When you move slowly, muscles stay engaged longer. Time under tension increases. That's one of the reasons 5 minutes can feel surprisingly effective. Your body doesn't need more minutes, it needs more awareness. Let's talk about when to do this. Morning is powerful because it wakes up circulation after hours of stillness. Many people notice less stiffness and more confidence when they stand up afterward. But afternoon can be just as valuable, especially if you feel that midday heaviness in your legs. Some even do it in the evening to reduce nighttime restlessness or leg discomfort. You don't need special clothing. You don't need equipment. You don't even need to feel motivated. You just need to show up and move gently. Consistency matters far more than intensity. Now let's touch on lifestyle and diet, because movement never works alone. Hydration is critical. Blood is mostly water, and even mild dehydration thickens it, making circulation harder. A glass of water before or after this exercise supports everything you're doing. Protein also matters, especially after 60. Muscles need building blocks. You don't need extreme diets. Simple, regular protein from foods you enjoy helps your body respond to movement instead of breaking down. Magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens or nuts can support muscle relaxation and nerve signaling. Many people notice fewer cramps or less tightness when their intake improves. This isn't about supplements unless advised by your doctor. It's about giving your body what it recognizes. Now, a gentle warning about common mistakes. One is pushing through pain. Discomfort from effort is okay. Sharp pain is not. Pain is a message, not a challenge. Another mistake is holding your breath. Breath holding spikes blood pressure and shuts down circulation. If you can't breathe comfortably, slow down. Another quiet mistake is inconsistency. Doing this once a week won't change much. Doing it most days will. Think of it like brushing your teeth. Small daily care prevents big problems later. And finally, comparing yourself to others. Your body has its own history. Respect it. Progress after 60 is not linear, but it is absolutely possible. In the final part, I want to bring this home emotionally. I want to talk about independence, confidence, and what it really means to feel strong at this stage of life. We'll revisit why this simple chair exercise is not a step down, but a step forward. And I'll leave you with a message I wish every patient heard earlier. Type continue for the final part. Before we finish, I want you to take a moment and think about why this matters to you. Not in a medical sense, not in numbers or charts, but in your life. Maybe it's being able to get up from a chair without thinking twice. Maybe it's walking through a grocery store without searching for somewhere to sit. Maybe it's keeping up with grandchildren, or simply feeling steady and capable in your own home. Aging has a way of quietly shrinking our world if we let it. Not all at once, but inch by inch. We stop doing certain things because they feel uncomfortable. Then we stop doing them because they feel scary. And one day we realize we've been protecting ourselves into stillness. But here's the truth I've seen again and again. The body responds to kindness just as much as it responds to effort. When you move in a way that feels safe, respectful, and intentional, your body listens. It adapts. It remembers. This 5-minute chair exercise isn't about replacing walking forever. It's about keeping the door open. It's about maintaining the muscles, circulation, and confidence that allow you to choose movement instead of fearing it. For some people, it becomes a bridge back to walking. For others, it becomes a reliable foundation on days when walking isn't realistic. Both outcomes are success. I've watched people in their 70s and 80s regain strength they thought was gone for good, not by pushing harder, but by showing up more gently and more consistently. They stopped chasing exhaustion and started chasing connection with their bodies, and the results surprised them. If there's one message I want you to carry with you, it's this. Your body is not broken, it's communicating. And when you respond with the right kind of movement, even a few minutes can create real change. You don't need perfection. You don't need long workouts. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need a chair, a few minutes, and the willingness to begin. If this message resonated with you, if it gave you hope or clarity, I invite you to support this channel by liking the video. Subscribe if you want more guidance grounded in real medicine and real life. And if you feel comfortable, leave a comment sharing where you're starting from. Not to compare, but to connect. Because you're not alone in this journey and your story matters. Take care of your body. It's carried you a long way already. And with the right care, it can carry you much further.